I spend 30 to 60 hours every week in my office, and my desk setup needs to have everything I need for my regular day job, for making YouTube videos, and for all my personal computing needs. With the release of the new M4 MacBook Pros, I made a couple of changes, so I figured I would show you how I set my desk up and accessories I use to get my work done. Plus, a bunch of them are on sale for Black Friday. Starting off with the desk, I'm using an Uplift L-shaped standing desk. It is a 72 by 78 inch solid rubber wood top, and it's big enough for me to have for my regular work setup, plus I use it for YouTube videos and testing. All I need to do is rotate in my chair and I can switch back and forth. These desks from Uplift are great and have a ton of options, but they're also pretty expensive. So I've also used a couple of standing desks from FlexiSpot, which is much cheaper and also has a ton of desktop style options to get you just what you want. So whether you want a wood desktop or a glass desktop or a laminate of some kind, FlexiSpot most likely has something that appeals to you. So check it out using the link below. And of course, they are running a bunch of Black Friday deals. This desk and the rest of the entire setup is based around the new M4 Max MacBook Pro. Now this isn't going to be a review of the MacBook Pro in this video, but I do have the 14-inch version with the 16-core CPU, 40-core GPU, 64 gigabytes of memory, and 2 terabyte SSD. This thing is an absolute beast, and it's awesome. I love it. Oh, and I also added the nano texture glass, which makes a huge difference in usability in bright rooms or outside. The MacBook Pro is sitting right on top of a Grove-made wool desk mat. Now, Grove-made sent me this a couple of years ago, and I still use it because it's really good. I've tried out a number of different options from Amazon, including wool, and I always come back to the Grove-made mat because it's just better than everything else I've tried. This mat is the medium size, and it's the perfect dimensions for what I need to use it for on my desk, and I can't find that anywhere else. The medium is on sale for about $64 right now if you want to check that out. It also just has a really nice feel to it for resting your hands on when you're taking a break from work, or placing your drink on, or even a great surface for using a mouse. The mice I use just glide right over it without any issue. And speaking of mice, I currently go back and forth between two. I use the Apple Magic Mouse and I use the Logitech MX Master 3. I don't really have a dying loyalty to one of these mice over the other. I just use one for a while, and then after I get bored, I switch to the other one, and they both work really well. One thing I really like about the MX Master 3 is that it has a smooth scrolling option. So when you flick the scroll wheel, it will just keep scrolling down a web page or down a feed smoothly like you get with the Magic Mouse or trackpad. One of the issues people have with the Magic Mouse is that it's not very ergonomic and it can hurt your hand. Well, I found this ergonomic case from a company called Mics, and it may just fix the ergonomic issue with the Magic Mouse. All you have to do is drop the Magic Mouse into the case, wait for it to snap in, and that's it. And now you have a more ergonomic version of the Magic Mouse without sacrificing any of the touch features on it. If you're wondering why I use my laptop open directly in front of me instead of using a separate keyboard and mouse, it's because in this orientation, using the keyboard and trackpad on the MacBook, I actually have relieved my RSI or repetitive strain injury in my elbow. Using a laptop as my desktop allows me to keep my hands in a more neutral position, so I can move my hands back and forth between the keyboard and the trackpad without as much wrist rotation as I would have to do to go over here and use a mouse. The trackpad also allows me to use other fingers to scroll as needed to reduce strain on any one finger, plus I can use my entire other hand if I need to for scrolling. I also get relief with my neck because I'm no longer looking side to side with large displays, I'm just looking up and down. If you want to replicate this because you have a Mac desktop or you prefer to use your MacBook Pro in clamshell mode sitting in a human-centric vertical stand, which by the way is on sale, then I found this Magic Tray on Etsy, which is the perfect device to be able to use the external Magic Keyboard and trackpad in a laptop-like mode. I've tried a couple of different types of this thing in the past, but what I found is that because the trackpad is so big in this orientation, there was a lot of accidental touches with the palm. What's smart about the Magic Tray is that it is angled up and the trackpad slides slightly underneath and lower than the keyboard, completely eliminating palm rejection as you type. Both the Magic Trackpad and the keyboard just kind of slide into their respective slots, but there are openings to be able to get to the power switch and to be able to run a cable to them. So if you want to keep your devices charged up and get rid of the Bluetooth lag, you can actually run a cable to both the trackpad and keyboard and have them come out the back. Just be aware this is a 3D printed item which comes with all of the textures and blemishes that come along with 3D printed things. Next, I want to show you my desk shelf from a company called Fengi. Initially, I wanted a Grove-made desk shelf, but I didn't really want to fork out that kind of money. So I stumbled across this and I'm pretty happy with the looks. The top shelf is a smooth oak laminate and it looks really good. Below that is a flat matte black shelf, and then on the sides you're gonna find some aluminum legs that tie both of them together. I find that the 42.5-inch wide version Works perfectly for a 27-inch display plus speakers on both sides. The shelf below is broken up into 3 different sections and they're about a couple of inches tall, and it's the perfect height for storing something like your MacBook, or even the brand new Mac Mini fits perfectly inside of this. But because I use my MacBook open in front of me, in the center of the shelf I'm using this aluminum and felt drawer from Human Centric. This is a nice sized drawer that fits perfectly in here. In here I'm storing the Apple polishing cloth and a lightning cable and a couple of knives for when I need to open things. I like that the bottom and the back are felt as well, so it slides super easily on the shelf. To the left, I have an aluminum and walnut desk tray to hold a couple of other items that I use on a regular basis, some flash drives, some adapters. This tray is part of a set that includes the pen holder, which is also walnut and aluminum, and they look great with the walnut desk stand. On the right side of the shelf is my CalDigit TS4, which I'll talk about in just a moment. Now, the standout feature of the Fengi desk shelf is the groove in the front. This is the perfect groove for an iPad to get your iPad front and center or to the side. This is a great way to use your iPad along with your Mac to get your daily work done. Some apps just work better on iPad. You can also use universal control and move your mouse from the Mac to the iPad. Or you can extend your Mac to the iPad using Sidecar, like I use my laptop and put the iPad right under a bigger display. Sometimes I like to use my iPad like this as a dedicated Zoom or Teams machine because it completely separates it from what I'm doing on my Mac. I can always leave it up on the side. It also makes a great stand for your iPhone as well. It should be no surprise that the display I'm using with my Mac is the Apple Studio display. No, the Studio display does not have every feature out there. It does not have HDR, it is not a high refresh rate, and yes, it is expensive. But I have gone through a ton of displays in the last few months, and I promise you, if you can afford it, the Studio display is your best option for a Mac. The Studio display is just designed better than every other display out there with its all aluminum design and its cool hinge if you get the height adjustable version. It's a 5K display, which means all the elements on the screen are the right size for macOS, and it is super sharp at 218 pixels per inch. It's rated at 99% P3 color, and it has a more uniform backlight and overall color compared to most other displays that I've tested. If you want the most simple desk setup, the speakers in the Studio display are also pretty decent. They are good enough to have as your only speakers on your desk. There's a built-in camera and studio mics, alleviating the need to purchase other accessories, and the macOS integration is better than any other display. You can actually control the brightness and the volume from the keyboard. Plus, it basically wakes instantly. Now, I know the Studio display is expensive, and I totally understand that. It starts around $1,600, but it's usually on sale for around $1,300 right now. I have looked at a couple of alternatives lately, including the Asus PA27JCV, which is a 5K display, but it starts at $700 instead of $1,300 or $1,600. It also has pretty good color, but the backlight bleed can be an issue. It has speakers that are basically worthless, and there is no specific integration with macOS. But if you want a 5K display at under $1,000, then this is one to check out. If you're looking to spend even less money and you're okay with a 4K display, the BenQ MA 27-inch display is a pretty good option. It has really good Mac-like colors out of the box. The backlight and color uniformity are better than the Asus. It has some speakers that could get you by in a pinch, and it has software to integrate with macOS to allow you to control the brightness and the volume. The BenQ MA is just $540, and it's a pretty good option. On the right of my display are the Kanto U2 speakers. I've been using these speakers for years. I've talked about them in previous videos, and I still use them today because they're actually pretty good. Recently, I decided I wanted to try out some different speakers, so I purchased the Audio Engine A2 Plus speakers and was very disappointed. The speakers just did not have the range of the Kanto speakers. If the Audio Engine sounded pretty good in the highs and the mids, and it had a dedicated sub out, I may consider keeping it, but instead, I'm returning back to the Kanto U2 speakers. They just sound better overall. The Kanto U2s are just the perfect everyday speaker to sit on the sides of your display and give you a bigger sound stage than what you're gonna find with the built-in speakers on the Studio display or your laptop. And maybe I'll get a different color because they're on sale for like $190 right now, but I definitely recommend these guys. And if you want even more bass, there is a dedicated sub out on the back. Sitting on the right of the desk stand is the CalDigit TS4, and CalDigit is sponsoring this video. Everything I've talked about in this video, my computer, my display, my speakers, everything plugs into this Thunderbolt 4 dock. With 18 ports of connectivity, it has everything I need to get my work done. On the front, I have quick access to SD and micro SD cards. I have a perfect USB-A port for my mouse dongle, plus a couple of 10 gigabit USB-C ports. One of them can charge up to 20 watts. On the back side of the TS4, I have my computer connected via Thunderbolt 4, the studio display via Thunderbolt 4, and I have a 10 gigabit Ethernet adapter also connected via Thunderbolt. Now, you may not have 10 gigabit Ethernet at home, but the TS4 does support 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, which is compatible with more and more laptops and desktops and routers that are coming out these days. I also have my speakers connected to the USB-A ports on the back, which are also 10 gigabits per second. Plus, you can connect up to 2 high-resolution displays or high refresh rate displays using the rear Thunderbolt ports or the display port, depending on your computer's own compatibility with multiple displays. The CalDigit TS4 is the central hub to my entire workspace, and if you want to check this out, you can save up to 20% for Black Friday using the links below. And my thanks to CalDigit for sponsoring this video. There's just a couple more things to round out my desk setup. For my external storage needs, right now I'm using the OWC Envoy Ultra. This is the first Thunderbolt 5 SSD that you can get for your Thunderbolt 5 equipped Mac. The speeds on this thing are insane. They can get up to 5,000 or 6,000 megabytes per second, which is crazy. That's way fast enough for video or audio editing or pretty much anything you need to do on a computer. Determining the actual full speeds of SSDs can be complicated because there's caches involved and different size caches and all kinds of different things. But after using this for the last week or so, I can honestly say this is the fastest external SSD I have used. For the last couple of years, I've been using this USB 4 enclosure with a Sabrent Rocket Q SSD inside. This thing has been a stable creative partner and I have absolutely no issues with it. But when I actually pit it against this Thunderbolt 5 drive, this guy beats it in every single test. But it ain't cheap. It runs about $600 for a 4 terabyte or $400 for a 2 terabyte version, which depending on what types of SSDs, premium SSDs and enclosures you're looking at, is actually a pretty fair price for what you get. You can find 4 terabyte NVMe SSDs on sale right now, plus add an external USB 4 enclosure like this Acasis or even this OWC 1M2, and it will make a fine external SSD. It just won't be Thunderbolt 5. Next up, I have this hue dial switch, which allows me to easily turn on and off my different studio lights in my office. Plus, this rotation ring actually adjusts the output of the hue light strip that's on the edge of my desk. This hue light strip, of course, can be set to any color or actually a gradient of 3 different colors to really help set the mood of whatever I'm doing in my office. If I'm up late working, I can set it to a nice warm light to help my eyes. I can set it to a bright color to get some shiny B-roll. But mostly it sits on this white light to just kind of light up the back of my desk so it doesn't feel so dark. To the left of my Fengi desk stand is a yellow HomePod Mini. Now this thing has one simple stupid function. I really just use it to turn the lights on and off when I come in or leave the office. That's right, this $100 thing that does have some kind of speaker in it, I guess. I don't know, I've never used it for music. Really is just a smart light switch for me. And yes, I already have this smart light switch, but sometimes you just want to yell at something. And underneath my desk, I do the absolute bare minimum of cable management, but I'm able to do it pretty well with the stand-up desk store under desk cable management tray. This is a solid piece of steel that's just bolted to the underside of my desk to hold power strips and power bricks. There's all kinds of cutouts for cable ties and zip ties to make this thing look pretty, but I don't got time for that. I don't have time to make everything look pretty. I just need to get it up off the floor and have it go up and down with my desk. And this underdesk cable management tray works really well for that. It comes in 2 different sizes, so you can find one that fits the width of your desk. And I've tried lots of cheaper cable management trays. This one is by far the best and the easiest one that I've used. So that's everything in my 2024 or 2025 desk setup. I spend way too much time here in this office, and this setup has everything I need to get my work done. Of course, I'm always looking to make things better, so let me know down below if there's something I should check out. Also, I know that some of these items are expensive, like the studio display, so if you're interested in a budget desk setup for Mac Mini or MacBook, let me know. And if you're interested in seeing more about the Asus 5K display I talked about, check out that video right over there. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, hit subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.